What is up, book nerds? We are doing an I predict the Minnesota Vikings season. This team's been going through it as of late. Let's see how that affects them. Let's get it. Game one, we do have a bit of a snooze fest against my New York Giants. 10-0. I'll give it to the Giants off the fact that we beat them in the wild card when they had a way better team. Granted, our team is also going quite worse, but most of our core is still here except for Saquon. And the Vikings, they're going to have to roll with Sam Darnold. Jordan Addison is probably not playing because he's probably going to get a couple games of suspension, so he's not going to be a factor. Their cornerback room is toast. RIP Kyrie Jackson, but I'm pretty sure their other two corners are out on injury. So, yeah, boring game, Giants win. Now, they're going to lose this game to the San Francisco 49ers. The Niners have a top. They're the best roster in the league. Probably top five coaching. The Vikings, bruised with battle. They're going to throw. Sam Darnold ain't going to get his revenge. Kevin O'Connell's going to try, but they're not beating them. I mean, I think if they have Kirk Cousins and their entire roster there, I still don't think they beat the Niners. And the Texans, I think, are just going to tear them limb from limb because they're already coming off a rough game against the Niners. And going into this game, the Texans, they got C.J. Stroud. They have they have amazing weapons. Their cornerbacks aren't going to be able to do anything with that. Sam Darnold's going to have a rough day dealing with Will Anderson and Danielle Hunter. They're going to miss him a lot. They have at least the guy that got off the Texans defense. They kind of traded that position. Forgot his name, but yeah, I mean this game's gonna be rough. I mean, y'all need to bubble wrap Justin Jefferson because if y'all are any more injured, y'all will go 0-16. We got more of them getting thrown around like rag dolls. They got the Packers. Again, better quarterback play, better defense. I'd argue the Vikings, I mean, I don't know how long the Jordan Addison suspension is going to last. Hopefully he's back by then, in which they do have the better receiving core. But I think Justin Jefferson by himself is not enough to beat the Packers. They do finally get a game in which they can be competitive. 14-7, another not too interesting game against the Jets. Handball between Garrett Wilson and Jay Jettis. Another Sam Darnold revenge game in which he will not get revenge. As long as Aaron Rodgers is at least half the player he is, I think they can still beat the Vikings. And they get embarrassed by the Detroit Lions. The Lions, Aiden Hutchinson, Sam Darnold may lead the league in times a player has been sacked. I don't know too much about Minnesota's offensive line, but it better be golden because this ain't going to be nice. It's going to be rough. So I will give the Vikings a win against the Rams. The Rams, I do think, are a better team, but the Vikings just went 0-6, and they need a win just to stay alive. So I'll give them a slight edge. Let's say Rams have a slightly off day. Maybe their defense doesn't clearly click, and Jay Jett is just too much and overwhelms their cornerbacks. Let's just say that. Then they'll lose to the Colts 23-20. This team I don't think they can deal with the Colts. I don't think their defense will be able to deal with a healthy Anthony Richardson, with a healthy Jonathan Taylor, with a healthy Michael Pittman. Plus, if whoever they drafted was wide receiver, it was good. I want to say Keon Coleman. I forgot the guy they drafted. Vikings, Justin Jefferson gets 2 touchdowns from Sam Darnold. And let's say Jordan Addison's back and he gets a touchdown. But they lose in the fourth quarter to a field goal. They'll lose to the Jacksonville Jaguars. Pretty similar story, except Justin Jefferson gets 3 touchdowns this time around. They're not able to deal with Trevor Lawrence. And despite their best efforts, they lose another game and fall to 1-8, effectively eliminating them from playoff contention. Again, similar story. This team kind of boils down to the fact that Justin Jefferson is able to get his 2 touchdowns a game. He's well on pace to get 1,000 passing yards. But other than that, their offense isn't all there. Their defense is not. Their defense in practice it'll look better than it is last year, but on paper it does not look good. I think Brian Flores will have this defense looking good, but it's also I think the caliber of their competition is getting better. And we have a shootout at Soldier Field between the 2 bottom teams of the NFC North. Both of these teams are already way out of contention to win the NFC North. So they're just competing to stay alive. Because they're away at Soldier Field, the Vikings will lose, but they plan to come back with a vengeance when they're at US Bank. They will get their second win against the season in a tankathon against the Arizona Cardinals. Both teams, I think, play a very similar style of play in which their entire team kind of sucks, but they have one receiver that is really, really good. Justin Jefferson versus Marvin Harrison Jr., they generate the only points put up on the board except for the kickers. Other than that, basically it's a slop fest. Then they get blown out by a angry Dirty Bird squad. The Falcons are fighting to redeem their first half collapse, and the Vikings they've kind of given up on the season. They're going to an 11 at this point. It's best to tank, try to help that defense out. This is a very defensive, deep draft, so they kind of give up in this game. And they get their third win in a Nick Mullins masterclass because by this point, Sam Darnold is probably cut off that roster by now. After 11 losses, it's Nick Mullins' time to shine, and he will get revenge for the Soldier Field shootout and win in US Bank Stadium. And Justin Jefferson gets his complimentary 2 touchdowns and, 250 passing yards. Let's say he goes crazy. Receiving yards is what I mean. And they'll get another win against the Seahawks in an insane last-second overtime game. They get the win. And, yeah, Justin Jefferson goes crazy. Let's say 4 touchdowns, 300 receiving yards. These 2 games, he goes beast mode. Then they lose to the Green Bay Packers. This Packers team is on fire because they are competing to win the NFC North. They have to battle both contenders. Already the Packers and Lions have both more wins than the Lions and Bears combined. The Vikings will keep it close, but Packers win. Finish the season, they lose the Detroit Lions. At this point, I think they rest starters because they don't really have anything to. I think they want to lose this game because if you think about it, they fall to 4-13, which puts them in contention for the first overall pick with the Carolina Panthers and possibly Denver Broncos. Either way, they're already guaranteed a top 5 pick. This season's basically been a complete waste. They have no clue J.J. McCarthy's quality. He loses out on a year of development. They have to watch Sam Darnold throw the ball, watch him get fired, end his career. They watch Jay Jettis go insane. He easily gets over 1,000 receiving yards. Probably gets a Pro Bowl nod because he's basically was the only thing good about this team. And that 4-13, top 5 pick, bottom 5 team in the league.